Welcome. I'm very excited about the topic of tonight's presentation, and I hope you are too. But let me open this presentation with the observation. Architects are known for design and documentation, but the real power is deeper than that. Architects create value. Let me illustrate this with a story. Recently, I watched the video on internet. This video was created by a couple of architects, and they were demonstrating that how they transform a 65 square meter apartment into a delightful and functional home for a family of four. It was a challenge because it was such a limited space, but the presentation wasn't about the layout, wasn't even about the nicer interior, but it was about better living in a smaller space. And that encapsulates the architect's value. They create delight, they create function, and they improve the asset value. But by sharing this story on the internet, where there are millions of viewers and potentially new clients, they made their value visible. They shared their story with the community. They demonstrated their thinking, their skills, and what they can achieve for their clients. They made the value visible. And so, because the good work, it's not enough. People need to see it, understand it, and remember it. And this is how architects create visibility. This is how architects create trust. And this is how architects bring new opportunities to themselves. And this is the focus of tonight's presentation. We are going to focus on the importance of understanding that we are creating value for our clients. And also, we must make this value visible. Tonight's webinar title, it's called From Selected to In Demand. And this conversation is for architects who are already working hard. They're building their capability, and they are thinking about progressing their career up. But they already start to sense that capability alone is not enough. As your career progressing, it is very important for others to recognize your value, to start trusting your value, and to remember you for the opportunity where your value can be demonstrated. The goal of tonight is to provide the insights why some architects are more memorable and how you can strengthen your value and your own trajectory. And so before we dive in, I would like to place today's conversation in the bigger progression I've been building. What I want you to see here is this is not just one-off webinar. This is a career progression series I've been building for architects who want more than just hard work and are hoping for progress. We started from stuck to seen. It was all about visibility. Then from seen to selected, when we talk mostly about positioning. And today, from selected to in demand, it's all about demand. How do you get chosen? But the journey doesn't stop here. This series is about helping architects move from being in demand to becoming indispensable, then building career leverage, and ultimately becoming category of one. Because the real career growth, it's not random. It's intentional, in stages. First, people need to see you. Then they need to understand where to place you. And then they need to have a reason to choose you over others. And over time, you build the kind of value and trust and differentiation that makes you incredibly hard to ignore. And so this is the bigger journey that I'm building here. But now that you understand the bigger picture, let's zoom in to tonight's topic. Many architects think that once they are selected, this is it, I've made it. I certainly thought that way when I first started. But being selected is not the finish line. Getting selected means that someone saw the potential in you and they gave you a chance. Becoming in demand is different. It means people understand your value, they trust your contribution and remember your strengths, and they think about you when the opportunity comes. So selection is a moment and demand is a pattern. And that is the real shift that I'd like you to make tonight. So if being selected, it's not the finishing line, what question should we ask? The question that we ask is, what actually helps me to become in demand? And this is what this session is designed for, to find the answer for that. And so let me show you what exactly you're going to leave with after tonight's session. By the end of this session, I want you to leave with three things. First is in-demand shift. I really want you to make that shift and understand what being in demand really means. The second, it's called gap diagnosis. I'm going to give you this tool and you will be able to do it. And you must do it throughout your career as you grow to identify what holds you back. Because in every stage of your growth, you're going to face the wall. And you really need to reflect and look inside, ask your wisdom, and do this exercise to be able to understand what is holding you back. And the third thing that you're going to learn today is I'm going to give you demand roadmap. It's a 3-step roadmap where you will know exactly what to do to move forward. So this is not a motivational session. My goal is that I want you to be clearer, more self-aware, and really have this direction for yourself. So you're not wasting months and years trying to figure out which way to go. This is a plan that once you follow it, you start to build your trajectory. I met many, many architects who are capable, hardworking, and reliable, but often go unrecognized. And that's frustrating because despite the efforts and commitment to work, they are not the first choice when the opportunity comes. And who can relate with that? This is the part that many architects miss. Demand is not created only by hard work. Many of us have been conditioned to work hard and believing that architecture, you build your expertise over a long time. So it's an old man profession. But your demand, you really need to understand what is your demand. Your demand is created when people understand your value, trust your contribution, and they can remember your strengths. Very simple. So the issue of being in demand, it's not often the ability, it's your signal. And we're going to build your signal tonight. Believe me, once you understand that, your life never be the same. When architects feel stuck, they often blame lack of talent, lack of confidence, or experience. And they look at their colleagues and they compare themselves. They say, I'm not like them. I don't know how to do this. But the real issue here is a weak signal regarding your skills and value. Because when you have a vague signal, it's hard for anyone to understand what is your value, what can you create, what is your expertise. And so your ability to catch the opportunities are very low.